30. Yeah. Yes. So this is pictures of us in the company. From the right, we have Melina, Clara, Sigrid, Hjalte, and Matthias. Yeah. We are called the Danish Power Interior, and it is because we want to focus on timeless tiny houses. It has to be good for a lot of centuries, and we focus on the Scandinavian style. Yeah, it is the power interior, as you see here. Our resident is Sherry. She is 60 years old, and she was homeless in her car for 5 years. She grew up in Austin, and she told us that she had a very tough childhood, but it was good. She tells us that her mother tries the best she could, and they were five siblings, so it was hard to, get it around. And we didn't hear anything about a father. Sherry has 4 children, and we hear that she likes doing art crafts. And one thing she loves very much about the community is everything about the community and events like theater every Friday. Yeah, and we have a picture of some animals here. Yeah. She got 2 chihuahuas. And we choose the color palette here of white, blue, and brown because it is very classic and timeless colors. Yeah, and then we also have some Nips things because she had a lot of cute stuff around in her house, and very familiar things. Yeah.
Here we have some statistics on chronic homelessness, and on the left you can see how many chronic homeless people is in the US, and since 2016 there has been a steady increase in the numbers of homelessness, and because it's so low in 2021, it's because Corona, so they couldn't count as many. And to the right, you can see homelessness in the US, and it's a more steady figure. And again, in 2021, they had a hard time with counting. And here we have some facts about homelessness. Homelessness is a person without a home and a shelter. The homeless people shelter under bridges and in their cars or other outdoors places. Most homeless people stay in the shelters when they get to a shelter, and 40% of the homeless community in the US live in unsheltered locations. It's African Americans, American Indians, and Alaska Natives. They have a higher rate of homelessness, and it costs approximately 30,000 a year to keep a person on the street, but only approximately 10,000 to give a person permanent housing, because the people on the street use emergency services more than the people in housing.
And there's been a high increase in homelessness in 2023. It is an 11% increase from 2022. And the homeless people have high risk of mental diseases such as depression and PTSD. And they have also a higher risk of diseases such as HIV, for example. And for fun, we looked at the World Inequality Database. For fun, we looked at the World Inequality Database to see some graphs around about the income levels in the United States, and the first one up there from since 1980s, the poorest 50% in United States have earned under 20% of all income in United States, and the second one is the top 10 richest in the United States. They earn about 45% of all income. So if this development keeps going, there could be potentially more homeless people in the future, and the society could be evenly more divided in the future.
And then we have our house. As you can see, it's a very classic, kind of on the darker side, timeless look. And we chose this because we want a house that is modern now, but also modern later. And yeah, we have a person to kind of show the scale of the house. And then we have outside. Outside, you can see on the top right picture, you have 2 chairs. So Sherry can sit with a family member, and you can, of course, pull out more chairs from some of the other houses or something like that. And then you have a plant, because plants are green. Green is a happy color, and you want to be happy and grateful for what you have in life. And again, we have the house built out of some durable materials, so the house is going to be able to be there and look fantastic for years and years, so you don't have to build a new house every time a new resident comes in. Then we have the interior. Sherry, we got the feeling that she is a warm, loving person. So for the interior, we have chosen some more like warm colors. So when you go in, it's like, it's brown, it's warm, it's inviting. You want to be there. You want to feel home there. And then we have a bed, and we have some drawers under the bed to maximize storage. And we have the sofa that can be pulled out and made into a sleeping couch. And then the table. And then we have our TV that you can pull out, so you can watch TV from bed when you're laying at night, just want to relax. Or you can sit, eat your dinner, eat your lunch with a friend maybe. And then you can pull the TV out and sit and watch TV with them. Then you have the kind of kitchen area. You have a microwave that's like on the countertop. So even if you have a friend who's in a wheelchair, they are gonna be able to reach that microwave and like warm their food on their own. And then you have the mini fridge, a sink, and then lots of cabins and storage area for your stuff. And you have the shelf, again, lots of storage area. You can have a lot of things without the room feeling too cramped. And in the small little room we have again, more storage area. You can have your clothes in there so they don't like lay around the house, because when you have a small house, you don't want to have it too messy, because then it can feel really cramped. And then, of course, the dog bed for her 2 dogs, because that is really important. And then we have the 4 things that reminds us of Sherry and we have dedicated to Sherry. We have the beautiful picture wall. You can, of course, change the pictures, so you can have pictures of your family, your pets, whatever you want. Because we noticed that Sherry had a lot of pictures of her family, and she really loved her family. So she can have that up there. And then you're going to see it more than if you had it higher up on a mantle, because every time you go to bed, you're going to look at that wall and you're going to think, oh, my family is here with me. And then you're going to get a smile, and you're going to go to bed with a smile on your face. We have the dog bed, of course, because she has her 2 chihuahuas and she really loves them, and it's important for them to have a space to be. Then we have the shelves. She had a lot of small stuff and small pictures like around the house, but we have decided to make a shelf with a lot of room so she can kind of gather her
belongings, so it's not as messy. And then on the table, we have some colored paper, some markers, because Sherry really loves arts and crafts, so it's important for us to give her the opportunity to do that in her own home. So all in all, it's a universal design. This can be used for everyone, but there's also a focus on Sherry as a person and what we kind of thought when we talked to her, because she was really nice and welcoming and warm and just such a loving person. And I think that was that.
What are some ways that if Sherry wanted to, she could alter the layout of her tiny home with the furniture that you've put in there?
Well, if you can go back slides. Well, you can always move the cabin. So say you wanted the couch where the cabin was, you can just move the cabin over to the other wall and move the couch there. So none of this furniture is made to be in the place that it is. You can move all of this around. So if you wanted to have the kitchen over where the bed was, you could move the kitchen over there, and then you could move the bed to where the kitchen is. So everything is changeable, and you can put the furniture wherever you would like it to be.
The bed, is that one bed frame? It looks like it might be part of the wall, like I guess the storage underneath it.
Well, that can be put by itself. There is a bed frame, but it is kind of covered by the quilt and the blanket. So it can be moved on its own, but it can also be on top of the storage unit. But we put it on top of the storage unit to make it to make more space. So you didn't have to have a storage unit somewhere and then a bed another place.
With the types of furniture you've chosen, have you thought about like the wear and tear of life and dogs, and like are there specifics with life with a dog? The dog bed, of course, yes.
Yeah. Well, everything like the shelves, the table, and also the kitchen. It's made of granite, it's made of wood, so it's all, and metal, of course, so it's all very durable materials. It's not gonna wear out in a couple of years, so it's gonna be able to be reused and recycled in another home. If Sherry moves out, then she can give some of her furniture to other residents, or it can stay in the house for the next resident.
I noticed there's no curtains or window coverings. Is there any ways that you guys addressed privacy in the home?
We wanted to give that opportunity to the residents, so it comes without curtains, and then they can choose if they want to have curtains or they like to live without curtains. So yeah, that was because we wanted to see what more residents wanted instead of only Sherry.
So I asked this for the last group, but this is my final question if you have anything else. What was the most transformational thing that you guys learned about homelessness or the experience of our neighbors through the interview process?
Can I just really quick get the question again?
Right. What is the most transformational thing that you learned from the interviews?
I think it's what homelessness is really about. It's not just it's not just not having a place to live. It's all the worries that come with it. Like, where am I gonna sleep? Are the cops gonna pull me over for not, Like, am I a place I'm not supposed to be? And I know that with Sherry specifically, she lived in her car and she told us it was very expensive because she needed gas to have the car running and the AC on the hot days. Otherwise, they would boil up. So the thing, like, where's your next meal gonna come from? How am I gonna keep the car running? Where am I gonna get money from? And the thing about, like, you hear a lot about homeless people stealing and stuff, you kind of understand why they need to do it. They don't do it because they want to, but they do it because they need to. And they need to do it to survive. So all, like, the deeper things and the reasons why they do as they do when they're homeless kind of makes more sense to you.
Yes, thank you.